My name is Aria. At 22, my life was a cycle of struggle and silence. I lived in a crumbling house, holding on to nothing but the fading memories of my parents. Every morning I prayed for a miracle, never knowing that my destiny was about to arrive in a cold, black car on a stormy Tuesday. A man handed me a letter that changed everything. You are the new maid for the Raven Mansion. The car carried me deep into the dark, jagged mountains. There stood Raven Mansion, a giant fortress of gray stone. It looked like a palace for a king, but it felt like a cage for the lonely. As the massive iron doors groaned shut behind me, a chill ran down my spine. I was alone in a house full of shadows. One evening, while cleaning the massive, dusty library, I felt a sharp gaze on my back. I turned and saw a man standing in the darkness. It was Victor, the master of the house. He was young, but his eyes carried a weight of 1,000 years. He didn't speak, he just watched me. I was so terrified that I dropped my cleaning cloth, my hands trembling under his stare. "Are you the girl from the village?" "Yes, sir. I am Aria." He stepped closer, bringing with him the scent of rain and mystery. "This house is full of enemies, Aria," he warned softly. "Do not trust anyone, not even the shadows." I didn't understand his warning, but I felt the danger in his words. Days passed, and I began to see the rot behind the gold walls. Victor's stepmother, Lady Cassandra, arrived with a fake smile and greedy eyes. She hated Victor and wanted his wealth for her own selfish son. Late at night, I saw her whispering with lawyers, weaving a web of lies to steal everything from Victor, including his life. One midnight, Victor summoned me to his private office. He looked exhausted. "Aria, I need your help to survive," he said urgently. "To keep my inheritance and stay safe, I must marry. But I cannot marry a snake like the women Cassandra chooses." I was shocked. "But, sir, I am just a maid." He took my hand and looked into my eyes. "Marry me, Aria, in secret." My heart hammered against my ribs. A secret marriage? But why me? I asked, breathless. "Because you have a pure heart, and you are the only one I can trust. I will protect you, and you will help me save this house." Looking at his lonely eyes, I felt a strange connection. I took a deep breath and whispered, "I will do it, Victor. I will be your wife." We were married that very night in the mansion's freezing hidden chapel. There were no flowers, no music, and no cheering guests. Only the flickering candles and an old priest witnessed our vows. Victor placed a simple gold ring on my finger, but his face remained cold. "Now you are my wife," he said, "but to the world you must remain the maid. Our lives depend on this secret." The next morning my double life began. It was a nightmare. I had to scrub the floors while Lady Cassandra screamed insults at me. I had to serve tea to my own husband while he pretended I was a stranger. Every time our eyes met, a secret fire burned between us. But as soon as a door opened, we had to turn our hearts into stone. Lady Cassandra was suspicious. She was like a wolf hunting for a scent. She noticed how Victor's gaze lingered on me when he thought no one was watching. "You are spending too much time with that servant, Victor," she hissed one evening. "She is just a maid. Do not forget your dignity." I stood in the corner, my heart heavy with unshed tears. But in the silence of the night, Victor would slip into my small room. He would sit on my humble bed and share stories of his childhood and the mother he lost. "You are the only light in this dark tomb, Aria," he whispered, touching my hair. In those moments, I wasn't a maid or a secret. I felt like the queen of his heart. One day, while cleaning Cassandra's room, I found a hidden letter. My blood turned to ice as I read it. It was a plan to poison Victor's tea and make it look like a heart attack. They wanted to kill him. My hands shook with terror. I had to save him, but Cassandra was watching my every move like a ghost in the hallway. I waited until Victor was alone in the library and ran to him, sobbing. "Victor, you are in danger. They want to kill you." I showed him the letter, my voice trembling. He read the words, and his face turned into a mask of cold fury. "I knew she was greedy," he whispered, "but I did not know she was a murderer." Victor held me close, trying to steady my shaking body. "Do not be afraid, Aria. I will not let them touch you." He looked at me with a new kind of intensity. "You are my wife, and I will protect you with my life." For the first time, I felt the true power of our bond. That night at dinner, Cassandra poured a special tea for Victor. I watched from the shadows, my heart racing. "Cassandra, drink, Victor. It will help you rest," she said with a venomous smile. Victor took the cup and looked directly at me. I shook my head, my eyes wide with fear. He turned back to her and said calmly, "Why don't you try it first, Cassandra?" Cassandra's face turned ghostly pale. "Cassandra, I am not thirsty," she stammered. "Victor, if it is good enough for the master, it is good enough for you," Victor said firmly. He stood up and threw the secret letter on the table. "I know everything, Cassandra." The doors burst open, and guards led the screaming woman away. The battle was won. The mansion was finally quiet, but a new fear gripped me. The secret was over. Victor looked at the empty halls, lost in thought. "Victor, it is finished, Aria. We don't have to hide anymore," he said softly. I looked at my hands and asked the question that was killing me. "Now that you are safe, do you still need me? Or was I just a part of your plan?" Victor remained silent for a moment, and my heart shattered. I thought about the nights we spent talking and the ring that felt so heavy now. "I understand, sir," I said, sliding the ring off my finger. "I was just a maid to you after all." I turned to leave, my vision blurred by hot, painful tears. I felt like a fool for falling in love. I ran to my room and packed my few belongings. I wanted to return to my village and bury the memory of Raven Mansion forever. But as I reached the heavy front doors, Victor blocked my path. He was breathless, his eyes burning with an emotion I had never seen before. "Victor, where do you think you are going, Aria?" he demanded. "The secret is over, Victor. I don't belong here," I cried out. He grabbed my hands and pulled me against his chest hard. "The secret marriage was a plan, yes, but my love for you is the only real thing in my life. I didn't marry you to save my money, Aria. I married you because you saved my soul. I love you." I looked into his eyes and saw the raw truth. The cold master was gone. Only a man in love remained. He knelt on the floor before me, ignoring his pride and his status. "Will you marry me again, Aria? Not in a dark chapel, but in front of the whole world. No more secrets, just you and me." Through my tears, I whispered, "Yes, Victor, 1,000 times yes." The following weeks were a beautiful dream. Victor announced to the world that I was his wife and the lady of Raving Mansion. The servants who once looked down on me now bowed with respect. I traded my gray uniform for silk dresses, but inside I remained the same Aria who loved the simple truth. However, the world of the rich was cold. At grand parties, Victor's wealthy friends whispered behind their fans. "She is just a peasant," they sneered. "She doesn't know how to dance or speak." I felt like an intruder in my own home, wondering if a girl like me could ever truly fit into Victor's world. One night, after a cruel party, I sat alone in the moonlit garden. Victor found me and saw my sadness. "They will never accept me, Victor," I sighed. Victor sat beside me and kissed my hand. "I didn't marry them, Aria. I married you. I don't want a lady who knows how to dance. I want the woman who had the courage to save my life." At the next gala, Victor stood in the center of the room, holding my hand high. "My wife is the most beautiful woman here," he declared to the silent crowd, "not because of her jewels, but because of her heart." The whispering stopped. In that moment, I realized that with Victor by my side, no shadow could ever dim my light. Months turned into a golden age for the mansion. We filled the cold rooms with music, flowers, and laughter. We used our wealth to build schools and hospitals in my old village. We were happy, but we felt a small emptiness, a longing for something more to complete our family. One bright morning, the doctor visited the mansion. After the checkup, he smiled and delivered the news that made my heart leap. "Congratulations, Lady Aria. You are going to have a child." I couldn't wait to tell Victor. A new life was coming, a life born of love, not secrets. When I told Victor, he picked me up and spun me around, his laughter echoing through the halls. He had tears of pure joy in his eyes. "Our child will grow up in a house of light," he whispered, holding me close. We spent the night dreaming of a future where our son or daughter would never know the darkness we escaped. 9 months later, a beautiful baby boy was born. We named him Noah, meaning peace. As I held him, I looked at the old locket my mother left me. My journey from a humble maid to a beloved bride wasn't just luck. It was a path built on courage, honesty, and the unstoppable power of true love. Now, when I walk through Raven Mansion, I smile at the sunshine pouring through the windows. The shadows are gone. Victor is no longer a cold master. He is a devoted father. Sometimes we sit in the small chapel where we first said our secret vows, thanking God for the journey that brought us together. My story is a reminder that your past does not define your future. A simple maid can become a queen if she carries a heart of gold. Do not fear the dark times, for they are the ones that lead you to the stars. Love is the only secret worth keeping and the only treasure worth sharing. Be brave, be kind, and always believe in miracles. Thank you for joining me on Aria's journey from a maid to the secret bride. If this story touched your soul, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to bring more tales of love and courage to life. Remember, love is the greatest magic of all. Until next time, keep dreaming. Goodbye.